So here we are, and let's talk about the marketing steps more specifically. So first of all, overall marketing, I personally divide marketing under two kind of categories. One is more like the advertising, and the other one would be public relation. Okay, so those are the two basic things which I call marketing. I don't know whether they call it in MBA universities the same way. I really don't. I don't care what they call it, and it doesn't really matter, because it's just, as long as you and me call something green and we both agree that they think it's green, it wouldn't matter what the rest of the people call it, all right. Now, agreement, remember? Reality. Okay, good. So let's just, I'm telling you that so that we have a reality. So now, let me talk to you about the 4 points which are very, very, very important in marketing. And again, they won't teach that in MBAs. And yet, large companies are using them. Keep in mind, large companies don't do the things they do because they're large. They're large because of what they do or did. So, the 4 points of marketing. Okay? Point number 1, you shall not use your own money for marketing. You should use other people's money for marketing. That means other companies, people, other organizations' money, whether they're non-profit or profit organizations. Other people's money for marketing, and you don't pay it back. It's not to borrow it. Now, it doesn't mean when I say that you will spend no money at all. It takes money and effort to already get to those people, to get them to market for you. So it's not that you spend no money. And obviously, you want to keep doing what you're doing, and spend that money. The key here is not, the trick here is not to have you spending no money on marketing. Who cares about that as long as you make, in the end, a lots of money? Let me give you an example in terms of percentages here, okay? What do you rather have? 1% of Bill Gates' money or 100% of your own money? Or what about 100% of all the money you and all your friends you know? Okay? Most likely the 100% of you and all your friends' money will not even come close to the 1% of Bill Gates' money. Thus, percentages don't mean so much. So whether you spend 1%, 5%, 10%, 20%, 60%, or for that much, 90% on marketing alone, okay, and you only make 1% profit versus the 10 or 20 or whatever percent you might make now, you only make a 0.5% profit. If that 0.5% is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which, more than you make now, and you have still free time. Remember when we did all the imagination and the goal setting, if it gets you all your goals, who cares whether you make it with 1% of revenue or whether you make it with 60% of revenue? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether your staff overhead is 10% or 90%. If you have enough money in your pocket and enough time and all these other goals you have, it doesn't matter. Good. So, spend other people's money marketing. Other people's money marketing. Other people must market for you. Point number 2. Point number 2, and yes, we'll get into how they, how you can do that. Okay, how can you get? In fact, let me talk a little bit about point number 1 again, just to elaborate on it a little bit before I go on. There are large companies, be it Coca-Cola, IBM, Tata, in India, whatever it may be. They, and much smaller companies, medium-sized company, who have the same potential target than you have of clientele. Maybe to them, your client, what is a clientele to you, to you, or a prospect to you, maybe a member to them, maybe already a client to them, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Okay? They have the same type of people they are approaching constantly with communication already, and you need to put your message on their wagon. You see, when you travel from one city or one country to another country, you don't build a highway, you don't build a car, you don't build a train, you don't build airplanes and airports to get there on your own. You don't try to create your own system to get there. You use other people's system to get there. You just put yourself on it. It becomes hugely cheaper, right? Exactly. It would be foolish to create your own highway to go somewhere. Reinventing the wheel, I mean, it's just like very, very foolish. Well, at the same token, as a small, medium-sized business owner, and for that much, large companies use that system anywhere already to a very high degree, you will never have the money to market enough to break through. So you've got to use those other people's money. Okay? There are many, many companies which qualify for them, and we'll talk about them down the road. You know, and normal people. And by the way, you already know that system a little bit. It's not that you're not doing that already a little bit. All of you are a little bit doing already. For instance, you get referrals sometimes. To some of your clients refer your business. Or, even if you have some dealerships out there, they may already use their money to market for you. You may pay them some commission, but still they're using their effort one way or the other way, and or their contacts to market. They might already sell something extra. They might sell, in the plastic industry, let's say in India, they may already sell particular compounds or certain things to the type of people. Now they sell your product extra, your component, because the other people, they carry that product yet. So they add a product to their service. That's already an example, but it's a very limited example. I'm just trying to show you that to a degree you're already using it, okay? So, let's go to point number 2. If you manage to have companies or people to put you on their marketing wagon, basically they spend money to market you, at the very same time, they actually now are endorsing you. Or so it looks to the people. All right? There's a high chance that you're watching this video because an association or a company somewhere along the line referred you to it. In fact, if you found me on Google, on some video, on some websites, I'm on thousands of websites. Thousands. And I'm on thousands of websites, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and utmost thousands of times, which means I can be found probably 100,000 times out there, not on my website, but on other people's websites, with a video or with an article. Either way, if you somehow found me on Google, then Google promoted me, because I don't pay Google any money to promote me. I find a way for Google to promote me. Google needs me. Google needs you. I get into it a lot later. The point is, most likely, you may be watching this video because some distributor, maybe a dental lab, maybe a dental association, maybe a steel association, a plastic manufacturing association, a restaurant association, a restaurant supplier, or maybe some, somebody somewhere along the line pointed out this series of videos and said, go and get on it. That person did the marketing for me. That organization, that association, that trade magazine which wrote about it, whatever it is, they are promoting me. They're spending money to do that. Even Google, if it happens to be that way. And automatically I'm endorsed, even by Google, because they call that organic searches. If you're there on that first page, that's like, oh, he's there 5, 6, 7, 8 times on the first page. That must be good. Or if it is your association or any type of association you somehow may be in contact with. It's like, oh, that association endorses him. So not only do they contact the groups or the people for me, and then you're watching it, at the same time it looks and is kind of an endorsement. All right, so point number 2, turn advertising into endorsement. Point number 3, to make this happen, to entice people to market and advertise for you, you usually gotta have a message they like to promote. In most cases, not always, but in most cases, and at least to the beginning, it usually is not, listen well, it usually is not the message about your product, such as, I have a great product. Okay, it might be. Especially once you start to get to know those people, meaning the ARC triangle starts growing, you know, there's more reality, more agreement. They will then promote anything you want to promote, any message.